congratulations also on your Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes, that's wonderful.
And speaking of achievements, you obviously have so many: film, TV, stage. We can't go into them here, but I'm kind of curious, how did you select the two choices for this film festival, Rally Around the Flag Boys and Decadence? What is particularly special or meaningful about those films to you?
Well, I've made over 60 films, and it was rather difficult, but I particularly like playing comedy, and although I've done a lot of comedy on the stage and also on TV in sitcoms, I've done very little comedy in the movies. So I picked Rally Around the Flag because it is a comedy, and also because it's with Paul Newman, who is pretty wonderful. And the other one, Decadence, I picked because I play dual role, and I think it's a very special film. I don't think it got the approbation that it should have got. I think perhaps because a lot of people are not huge fans of Steven Berkoff. I've been a friend of his and a fan of his since I did Sins. I produced Sins, a miniseries for CBS, and I cast him. So I was his producer. I cast him as the nasty Nazi, and so he's always had a little bit in awe of me because I was his boss. So that's that.
Mike, you have a question?
Do you enjoy this kind of performancing at a Sedona, or at a film festival like this? No, being here, just being here, and people not knowing everything that you've done.
Oh, people don't know everything I've done, believe me. I am at the stage of my life, I don't do anything that I don't want to do.
Right on.
Thank you. Scarlett?
Hi, I'm Scarlett. I'm from Canada. I'm doing a documentary, and just wanted to tell you we love you in Canada.
Do you? I love Canada. I was there 4 years ago doing a play. I was there for like 6 weeks.
Yeah, and then on a personal note, you've been a real inspiration to a lot of women. It seems like you've lived your life the way you want to, and I say right on, sister.
Well, you don't always live your life the way you want to, but if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and nobody ever said it was going to be great. Life is not great for most people, but mine's been pretty great, but I've had a lot of ups and downs, which I've chronicled quite a lot in various books, and of course in my one-woman show, which I don't know if any of you coming to see it. No.
Absolutely.
Oh, you are. Oh, good.
Thank you.
Well, my battle with Random House, when they tried to sue me, my battle with various husbands. So, but I enjoy my life. Main thing. Otherwise, why are we here?
Right. Thank you.
Holly?
Hi. So I understand that you have an autobiography coming up called A Passion for Life.
Yes.
And so obviously you've had many passions in life, including your publicized work, your stage work, television and film roles, and your charities, etc. So I was just wondering what experiences have been the most meaningful or fulfilling for you?
That's very hard to answer. I've had so many meaningful and experience. I think my children. I think giving birth is one of the great miracles, and I think having children and seeing them grow up is very, very special. And I think my relationship with my husband, Percy Gibson, which we've now celebrated 13 years together and 11 years being married, is especially meaningful.
Alan?
First, I just want to say you have such a beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you. I smile all the time.
You do get, well, you should get that all the time. The question I have is, what do you think about Sedona?
Well, I was here in the 80s with Tina Sinatra. We came to a self-help program called Actualizations. And I loved it. I found it very restful, very zen. It has great karma. And I'm just sitting last night in the hotel room with my friends. We all felt, we sort of let out a big sigh of relief, because I've been in New York and Los Angeles in the past 2 weeks, and it's been a bit frantic. So I find it a very relaxing and spiritual place.
Thank you. Charles?
Excuse me. You work with so many different people, but one of the different things you did, you worked with Peter Sellers on an album, didn't you?
Oh my God, yes.
Tell me about Peter Sellers. I wouldn't have much time.
Peter Sellers was a very good friend of mine. I knew him quite well, and he was a crazy genius, is all I can say. I tell a funny story about him in my one-woman show, which I won't tell you now, because I don't want to spoil it. You have to come and see it. But it was when actually where he was having an affair with Liza Minnelli, and he came. I'm not going to tell you. But I think it's genius. I mean, I listened to him when he did, before he became a film star, he had the Goons, which was a big radio show in England that everybody loved, even Prince Charles. And but he was quite self-destructive.
Steve?
Ta-da! No, as a question.
May I ask another question?
Yeah.
I read somewhere that you consider much of modern television a little amateurish, which I'm sure many of us
say that.
do.
Where did you read it? On YouTube.
No, that's not true. Actually, my question is, what's your guilty pleasure when it comes to television watching?
Old movies.
Okay.
Or not necessarily old movies. I mean, last night we watched a movie that I'd never seen called New Year's Eve. Yeah, which has got every star in it that you can ever think of. Yeah, I love movies, and we do watch TV. I mean, I watch. I have to say, I do admit that I love the daytime soaps, like all my children. I do love those. And I think all the women are so beautiful, and the men are handsome. And I really, I suppose that's my guilty pleasure. But I don't watch, you know, they're on. I don't know whether you count watching TV. I mean, they say there's two kinds of people. The kind of people that go into the room and turn on the TV, and the kind of people that go into a room and turn off the TV. I'm the one who always turns it on. So I always have the TV, normally on a news program, but at certain things in the morning.
Scarlett?
Would you ever do a reality show?
No.
Hell would freeze over? Okay.
No, I didn't say that. I've been asked several times. I've been
Oh,
asked to
yeah.
do all of those in England and America, you know, the dancing and the celebrity
Oh,
thing. No,
yes.
I have no interest in doing that.
Okay.
Soap opera.
A soap opera? Well, is Dynasty a soap opera? I've done soap opera. I've done, I did, what was the one?
Guiding Light?
I did Guiding
Yes.
Light for 3 months. I decided, you know, try everything once. It's the most hardest thing I've ever done. It is so hard. You have to, they started me off easily with just 10 pages of dialogue a day, and by the time we finished I was doing 50 pages of dialogue, and I said, this is too much stress. Can't do this. But it was fun.
Alan?
You were talking about beautiful women. What is your secrets of staying beautiful?
Moderation, up to a point. Lucky genes. Both my parents were good looking. And taking care of my skin. And moderate exercise. I hate exercise, but I do it. And also I do see several women around my generation who've exercised all their lives, who have a lot of problems now with their bones, with their joints, you know. Knees are gone, hips are gone. Is there wood? Where's the wood that I can touch? Okay.
Right here.
No. Okay, touch wood, I haven't had any of that.
Okay, last question. Oh, all right, Steve?
Do you have a bucket list?
Yes, I have a bucket list, but I've only got like 2 things on it. I want to go to Peru, because that's where my husband was born. And his grandfather, there's a street there called Percy Gibson Street that was named after his grandfather, who was a very famous and well-known poet in Peru. And I've never been to St. Bart's, the island of St. Bart's. I want to go there. I don't know why I've never been. And not really. I've done everything else. I do not wish to go to the top of the... Oh, actually, I've been to the top of the Eiffel Tower. What am I talking about? And I've been to the top of the Empire State
Bungee
Building.
jumping.
What else? What else? What?
Bungee jumping.
Never. No,
Okay, one more
I wouldn't do
question,
anything.
Charles?
Yeah.
You started making film in England first, and then
Yes.
you moved over to the States. What was different about making films in England than making films in America?
Well, I was 17 when I made my first film in England, and I was green as grass. I was just still at RADA, dramatic school, and everybody seemed so old, and and they were. Everybody was like in their 40s, 50s, 60s. They'd been in the, I'm talking about the producers and the directors and the technicians. And going to the States a few years later, everybody seemed so incredibly glamorous and professional. I mean, all of the unit, all of the people who worked behind the cameras, they were all beautifully dressed, and everybody was smoking. I'll never forget that. Even people who were fitting me. I have pictures of Charles Lemaire kneeling down and fitting my gown for the Virgin Queen with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. It was very different.
Thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.